following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. It's Reaction Monday on Main Street Sports today. From the Super Sunday, our thoughts on the game, the halftime show, and all the festivities. Plus, we'll talk with Tyler Palmateer from Main Street Preps as district tournaments are here, and all of the results and the schedule in the rundown, a little high school wrestling as well. Happy Valentine's Day from all of us at Main Street Sports today. Now, the sports talk show you've always loved and may just not have known it. Now to the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton. Here's the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Happy Valentine's Day indeed. Mo, we're in the pink. It's like
showing his love.
It's like it's a gender reveal. I got on the navy, you got on the pink. Which one's it gonna be?
Do you two have some news you haven't told me about?
Neither of the above over here.
Oh, well, you see, I don't know if y'all saw the argument I had with my wife on Twitter over the weekend. We had a phenomenal photo of Charlie. We put her in a little Johnny Cash shirt and a denim jacket and some black and white striped pants, look like Beetlejuice. And took her picture in front of the records, in my sunroom and the Jack Daniels barrel, and she's adorable, of course. And so it's I said, in case you're on the fence about having another kid or having a kid, and she took that as it was okay for us to have another one, and I'm like, no, I'm not on the fence. There was no fence. I'm not on the fence at all, but
I'm gonna just let that be between y'all.
You should back me up. One is enough. One is enough.
There are theories, both pro and con to that. So, but like I said, I'm gonna let y'all figure that out.
Let us have it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. I'll take it.
Easy,
man,
big fella.
That was. Haven't coughed all day, and then come in here and
maybe you're allergic.
I might be. Maybe that's the problem.
That would be a problem.
Guys, we got a great show. Again, Tyler Palmateer is going to join us in the next segment, talk about all the things that he's seen this year, what he's looking forward to as the district tournaments get underway and we start knocking teams off. That's checking them off the list. That's how it goes sometimes.
There you go.
We'll get into that, what he's got going on, and then we'll talk about some wrestling over the weekend. We'll get into that a little bit. We will talk about the hoops that happened over the weekend, including that big District 12 4A district regular season championship game and much more. Of course, it's Reaction Monday. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to spend at least a couple segments in the second half talking about that. So stick around. It's going to be worth it. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about the other stuff surrounding the game. Tomorrow we will have our commercials, our top 5 commercials from last night. So that should be fun. We'll talk some college hoops and much more. So let's go ahead and dive right in and give you the weekend results and tonight's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Let's do it.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388-5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today.
In high school boys basketball action on Friday night, Spring Hill comes into town and gets a 54-44 win over, Springfield comes into town, gets a 54-44 win over Spring Hill.
That's so difficult.
Yeah. Richland defeats Culleoka 58-43 in 10A action. In 10-2A play, Mount Pleasant with their first win of the year in district action, knocking off Giles County 63-58. Summertown with an 83-54 win over Lewis County. Columbia Central goes to Independence, claims the 12-4A regular season championship with a 71-64 victory. Also, Summit downing Nolensville 75-39, and in District 3, Division 2A, Webb School of Bell Buckle defeats Columbia Academy 81-68 in the tournament semifinals.
And I didn't get Saturdays.
I got it.
Okay. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Go ahead.
In girls action on Friday, it was Spring Hill 59, Springfield 45. Richland down Culleoka 52-27. It was Giles County 50, Mount Pleasant 46. That was a big one as far as seeding goes in 10-2A. Summertown downs Lewis County 74-23. Columbia Central a 59-37 winner over Independence. Summit down Nolensville 55-39. And in District 3 2A, it was Webb School 91, Columbia Academy 34 in the semifinals.
In consolations on Saturday, it was Columbia Academy boys falling 55-50 to host Providence Christian. And on the girls' side, it was Middle Tennessee Christian 71, Columbia Academy 58.
There you go.
So both the Bulldogs and the Lady Bulldogs finished fourth in their district.
But they will move on.
They will move on, yes. And we'll get you caught up on that later in the week. Junior college women's basketball on Saturday. Cleveland State edges Columbia State at the Webb. No, that was on the road. I'm sorry. Cleveland State with their home court victory, 64-62 over the Lady Chargers. The men, Columbia State with a 58-57 win over Cleveland State. So a couple of pretty good ball games.
Would have been worth the trip, apparently.
You been to Cleveland?
Once.
NCAA men's basketball action over the weekend. Number 19, Tennessee, with their 10th straight win in the series, defeating Vanderbilt 73-64. It was Lipscomb 83, Eastern Kentucky 73. Belmont with an 81-72 victory over Southeast Missouri State. Austin Peay edges Tennessee State 54-52.
Comeback win.
On Sunday, MTSU remains undefeated at the Glass House with a 78-63 win over Charlotte.
That Austin Peay win was incredible. I was following Brady McTamney on Twitter, and it was Tennessee State was up like 6 with like 2 minutes to go, and Austin Peay comes back and gets the win. It was crazy. Women's action.
The ghost of Terry Taylor, huh?
And he was wearing one of those shirts walking. Oh, it was great. In women's action, Lipscomb falls to Eastern Kentucky 83-69. Belmont 70, SEMO 67. It was Austin Peay 57, Tennessee State 37. On Sunday, Lady Raiders edging Charlotte 46-45, and the 13th ranked Lady Vols a 66-52 winner over Vanderbilt.
Junior college baseball over the weekend. Columbia State picks up another couple of victories down in Lakeland
Not
College.
Lakeland,
Yeah,
Lakeland.
Lakeland College 5-1, and defeating Rend Lake College 4-2. NBA action. It was the Grizzlies winning again, 125-118 at Charlotte. And in Super Bowl 56, for those of you who have been under a rock, it was the Rams 23, the Bengals 20.
Tonight's schedule, Culleoka is at Santa Fe in girls action at 6:30. Also, all of these, I guess, are in girls play, right? Girls quarterfinals, Hampshire at Richland, 6:30. 6 o'clock, Mount Pleasant hosts Lewis County in 10-2A play. It's Marshall County at Lincoln County at 6 o'clock. Spring Hill is at Lawrence County, also at 6.
This isn't right. These are not until Thursday.
I apologize.
Yeah. In TSIAA tournament action, on the girls' side, Zion Christian travels to Dixon County for a 5 o'clock tip-off. And in boys, Academy for God visits Zion Christian. That game is at 6. NCAA men's basketball action tonight. Eastern Illinois visits the Dunn Center, takes on Austin Peay at 5 o'clock. And in NCAA women's basketball action, North Alabama plays at Lipscomb in about an hour. 3 o'clock tip for that one. Austin P travels to Martin, UT Martin, as opposed to UT Southern. Austin P is at UT Martin. That's a 6 o'clock start. And that's
the first time that we have run out of music.
We have outlasted the music.
That doesn't happen often.
Rundown. Yeah.
You two were a little chatty.
We were a little chatty.
Which
That's
is okay. It's a Monday. It's a reaction
that's
Monday.
Well, it's a long rundown,
Yeah.
too. It wasn't just us being chatty, though we were chatty. It's a talk show, bro.
Just call us Kathy.
Yeah.
Kathy 1 and Kathy 2.
That is your rundown.
I didn't blow the horn on you, though, so that's good.
Thank you.
I could have done that.
The premature horn would have been really good.
He's got the cane or whatever, like they have at the Apollo. He's going to just drag us off the stage.
Yeah, the cane or the gong. I do need to get a gong.
The top story for today is clearly the Super Bowl, and we've got 2 segments dedicated to it. So let's just dip out and then go talk to Tyler Palmateer on the other side of the break, y'all. Come back on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back. Tyler Palmateer on the other side. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back. It is Main Street Sports Today. Main Street Prep segment coming up. Main Street Sports Today presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We're live from the Lee Company studio. Got some breaking news in the high school world as the first ever coach at Liberty Creek High School will be former Watertown coach and former Davidson Academy coach Bill Alexander. So he spent some time at Beach as the defensive coordinator under Anthony Crabtree. So, yeah, big news coming out of Sumner County and Zach Womble. So, always good to get the breaking news here on the show. MainStreetPreps.com is where you can find a full story on Bill, and should be exciting. So.
That story penned by fellow TSWA Hall of Famer Tommy Bryan of the Wilson Post.
See, I think there might be two stories.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Zach has a story and Tommy has a
Oh,
story, I think.
that's
Interesting.
that is interesting. That's my bad.
Which is, because I saw Tommy's story too on the Wilson Post. And then, so anyway, all good. In other coaching news, our friend and former Titans quarterback is gone from Grace Christian.
Really?
Yeah. So Rusty Smith is out. So
Out, huh?
I think he might have. Apparently he was fired.
Didn't they go to the playoffs?
They did. Back-to-back years. The school has decided to part ways with Rusty Smith, according to the article on Main Street Preps by Donovan Stewart. So there you go. Anyway.
Okay, so hold up. Just to clarify the Liberty Creek Bill Alexander, Tommy tweeted Zach's story.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, okay.
Either way.
Yeah.
There's a story on Main Street Preps, and you can find it.
MainStreetPreps.com.
MainStreetPreps.com. And now we can talk some hoops. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on. It's Reaction Monday. We're reacting to everything. And so we will now bring in Tyler Palmateer to react to his weekend in high school sports. But also, Tyler, what do you think of the Super Bowl?
Hey guys, I thought the Super Bowl was pretty good. I had a hard time in the first half really sinking in and sinking my teeth into it. I think I was just, I don't know. It maybe just felt like we kind of lacked a little bit of a big name power almost. I mean, everybody in the NFL is a big name, and I know there were some great players. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's as good a defensive player in the NFL as you'll find. And I don't know. It's almost like I sat back. I was just sort of waiting for like Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes or somebody to walk in the door. You know, the quarterbacks, we had Joe Burrow, fine young quarterback. He was tied for most sacks coming into the game in the NFL, and Stafford tied for the most picks. Is that right? So it's like it wasn't quite the Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes duel from a couple weeks ago, but I found myself getting into it. That halftime show got me into it. That was one of the best things I've ever seen on it's part of a football game or maybe a sporting event. I was into that, and then I appreciated the second half for its defense. Really, you had to. I thought it was a good game. I really enjoyed watching the whole thing. As far as the high school weekend goes, we kind of got the early part of this postseason kind of gets off to a kind of an inauspicious start, right? I mean, it's like kind of a lot of basketball going on, and there's some teams eliminated, but I feel like it really starts to pick up this week once everybody's kind of in the postseason. So looking ahead, there's definitely some good games there. So it'll be, I don't know how you guys are going to get all your work done. I don't know how you're going to get all your writing and your radio done.
We don't either.
I'll have to sit back and learn it.
we're just
don't
we're,
watch us.
We're gonna wing it, and then we'll write a book later.
Yeah.
How to?
I'll have to watch you guys pick up some pointers.
Good luck.
You don't follow us. As I think there was a series along those lines. Yeah. But as you think about district tournament, Zach, obviously you've got that still unbeaten Beach team up there. What is their approach right now?
Well, I guess I talked to them about that unbeaten streak, and I don't think they really think about it a whole lot, but they're kind of at that point now where they got to just keep it going. So, I mean, I don't know that their approach needs to change, man. I mean, they're senior laden. The amount of seniors on that team is going to help them at this point in the year. And I don't think I've seen a team this season, including Brentwood Academy, that can throw that many different 3-point shooters and that many different big bodies at you throughout the course of a game. They really are the full. Now, I mean, they don't have a point guard quite as talented as Tyler Tanner, but that's neither here nor there. I guess my point is it's a very well-equipped basketball team. I think their approach shouldn't change. They should just go out and lean on their experience and at this point try not to think about all the things that we're writing about and talking about when it comes to being an unbeaten in the postseason. I know you guys, Mo and Chris, have a team like that in your area in Loretto who's, you know, when you're that good and you've been blessed in that many good players and you win a whole lot of games, I guess the only downside is you just kind of build up expectations as you go. But I think if you have a team that's got a lot of senior leadership, just lean on them. Just lean on those guys. You got a coach that's got a lot of experience and Kip, and you know, just lean on them and move forward and just kind of trust your talent. They've got all the right tools. I think it's probably in between the years as much as anything. At least get yourself, you know, to that final stage. At least make sure you get yourself to the state tournament where you'll give yourself a real shot.
Well, a funny thing happened to Loretto on the way to that unbeaten season. As Creekwood's girls got them 49-46 on Thursday night. So
no.
Oh yeah.
I must have missed that.
Yeah.
we were concerned it was a typo at one point, but it ended up not being.
True story.
Well, Creekwood, that's been a good looking team all year. I can't say that I've watched them, but I think I remember last year for Russell Venozzi's podcast, he and I's podcast, we were looking at big games. I think we had kind of circled that one as an interesting. Now, Creekwood, they're playing in a larger class, right?
Yes, they are 3A. We had to double check that, but yes, they are 3A.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we had kind of tagged that as sort of an interesting matchup, but I never circled back and looked at what happened. So there you go. I mean, Ashley Rutledge had said when she joined us early in the year, she gets it. You know, everybody talks about the unbeaten, but sometimes it's good to take a little loss on the way to sort of get everybody just refocused. And that might not be a bad one. You know,
and this might be the perfect time for it right here at the start of, you know, the end of the regular season, the start of district tournament play and that kind of thing. But yeah, Creekwood, meanwhile, also defeated Summertown back right at the start of January, I think. So they might be public enemy number one in Lawrence County these days.
Yeah. No, they've been Creekwood. We've had an eye on them, and they've definitely turned in some good results. And you win 20 games. I'm pretty sure they're a 20-win team. You win 20 games by Valentine's Day. I don't really care who you're playing. You're doing something well. You're probably a pretty good basketball team. So, but yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah, if you're Beach, I don't know. I guess you're just at the point now. You just keep winning, and you just lean on that leadership. You know, maybe Ashley must have pulled the right string. Maybe she wanted a little loss there. I don't know. I doubt that. I think this was a team she thought that probably could go undefeated. So I doubt that as a group that's happy with a loss. But maybe it'll be a good thing. That's a perfect time for it to happen.
Tyler, you were able to see Cane Ridge, I think, over the weekend, and we've talked about obviously McDonald's All-American Brandon Miller all year long. But 4A is going to be a tough place to win, and getting to Murfreesboro is not going to be easy for them, of course. And once they get there, it's certainly a challenge. Do you think that the Ravens have an opportunity to find themselves in Murphy Center by season's end?
Yeah, I think they can, and I think they will. I think they'll get there. There's a lot of other tools on that team. Brandon certainly gets a lot of the highlights, but Ryan Oliver at guard is a really good basketball player. I mean, I spoke with him on Friday, and I believe he's getting some interest from UAB. He could be somebody else's star, no doubt. I mean, he had 25 points against a good Stewart's Creek team on Friday. So that's a really good basketball player. Deron Hall is a younger sophomore who's about 6'7", 6'8", who he's still kind of coming into his own, but he's a good player down low with some length, and they've got some tough nosed guards too in that lineup. I think they've got the pieces to definitely get there, and I think they could. I mean, I think they could win a state championship, but that's a tough place. That's a tough field for sure to go into. But sometimes when you have the best player in the field, sometimes that can be enough. I always go back and think about like the year Carmelo Anthony just ran through the whole NCAA tournament. Sometimes if you end up with the best player in the field and they just have just kind of an unbelievable run, sometimes that can be enough. But that's kind of what I ended up writing about Friday, because they were all over Brandon Miller. Seward Creek was defensively, you know, a lot of nothing super tricky, but just real physical man-to-man, trying to knock him off the spot and kind of frustrate him. And I think he's going to see so much of that over the next couple of weeks that the free throw line can be really important for him. He's almost a 90% shooter from the line and went 12 of 14 in that game and really just negated a bad shooting night. He ended up with 29 points. So he's going to end up getting his, I think, as long as that supporting cast plays well and shows up over the next month. Go ahead.
I saw them early in the year down at Independence. It was a 66-60 ball game. They beat Independence. But I'll tell you what, any team that goes into that game thinking all we got to do is stop Brandon Miller, liable to get their feelings hurt, because I don't remember names like you just ran off. Some of those names, as you mentioned them, stuck out to me. But I can tell you that is a team, and Marlon Sims is one of the better coaches in Middle Tennessee. But that team, there's a lot more talent on that team than Brandon Miller. And obviously he is their crown jewel. He's McDonald's All-American. He signed with Alabama, and he's going to do some great things down there. But there is more to that team than him.
Yeah, and I think, Mo, that game, that may have been one of their games without Ryan Oliver, and he's just their glue guard. I mean, in addition to being a guy that can put up 20 to 25 on any night, he's really, as far as like their cohesion, he's just that leader that they lean on, just kind of the guy that bridges the gap between everybody. So, and with him being back, that bodes well for him. I'm not, they'd be a different team without Ryan Oliver, right? They'd be good, and I think they'd still be in the state tournament. They'd be a different group. He's really important to them. So, but you're right. The other guys, the other guards, they can plug in. I mean, the way they can get down and guard you, and they can go at times when they want. Mm-hmm. I agree with you about Marlon. He's a really good coach.
Tyler Palmateer of Main Street Preps. You can find him at mainstreetpreps.com. Also on Twitter, it's tpalmateer83. So make sure to follow him there. And of course, tell him about the podcast.
Yeah, Main Street Preps this week. We usually release it sometime into Wednesday, Thursday. Russell and I and our producer extraordinaire, JP Plant, he kind of steers the whole ship. And we bring a guest in every week. We talk about, we go back to the previous week and kind of wrap that up. We look ahead. We have a guest on for about 20 minutes or so, and we run down all things high school sports in the Nashville area. It's worth checking out. If nothing else, definitely for our guests. I think I love having people in the studio, and it's kind of a different space to get them in. So it's fun to speak with some of the coaches around the area on that platform.
Yeah, no question. It's always fun to kind of get them on in a different light where you can sit with them by themselves. You're not after a ball game and everybody's gathering around. It's a little bit easier to have a conversation. So it's always fun. Main Street Preps this week. Tyler and Russell Venozzi do a great job. Tyler, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it, man.
Hey, anytime. Thanks for having me on, guys.
You got it. All right, let's continue talking some high school stuff. Again, you were at the wrestling. You saw the big 12 4A hoops matchup on Friday night. So there's a lot to grab a hold of. Let's dive in when we come back on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today. In case you forget at any point during the show, it is right here.
Good job, Dana.
You missed my Vanna White impression on last Thursday. JP saw it. he saw my.
No, I was there for that.
You were there for okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I hadn't left that soon.
I didn't know
I
if you
just
were there
left
yet.
before the. No, I that was kind of in the middle.
That's right. It was.
That was before the tail end of things when you brought out the good stuff.
Well, teach you to leave early.
Mhm. I got my theories.
You should have.
I got my theories.
You should have got blocked in like JP, and he couldn't leave. Instead, you blocked somebody else in and
So I
decided
had to leave.
rather than go outside, move the car, come back in. I'm just gonna go to. Probably not a bad move, by the way.
Under the circle,
I mean,
all things considered, yeah.
Just go home.
Yeah. It's about that time for me.
Oh. High school wrestling over the weekend. Mo, you got a chance to see some folks punch their tickets to sectionals,
Sectionals.
whatever that means.
It's the round between regions
Instead.
and state
Gotcha.
now. Because
Just like in basketball.
Yeah.
There's just no sub-state in wrestling.
well, sectional, sub-state, they're kind of interchangeable.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is
But-
the sub-state.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and actually, sub-state is probably more accurate for wrestling than it is for anything else. Because here's the deal: over the last few years, I don't know specifically how many top four finishers at region have advanced to state. You've got 8 regions times 4. That's a 32-man bracket. Last year, in an effort to reduce the number of people involved because of pandemic concerns, they only took the top 2 to state for a 16-man bracket. So they cut the state field in half. And there was a bit of an uproar about that. So they've kind of split the difference here with the regional. So you're taking the top 4 from region to sectional still,
So this is not something that has always happened.
No, this is the first year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're taking the top 4 finishers from regionals to sectionals, which is a matchup of 2 regions. Like Region 7 and
Yeah.
Region 8 are a section.
Just like District 8
Mhm.
and District 7 are Region
Exactly.
6 in basketball.
Right. Right.
Gotcha. Okay. That's interesting because I mean, I just see the terminology of sectionals has always been odd to me anyway, because I've never heard of that except in wrestling in Alabama. Is the only place we have sectionals is in wrestling. And you guys didn't have sectionals in wrestling. So that's odd to
Well,
me.
now we do.
Huh.
So
Okay.
So the top 4 placers at the region go to sectionals, and then the top 4 placers at sectionals will go to state. So you're still going to have a 16-man bracket, but you're taking 4 out of each region, and you'll have an 8-man bracket at sectionals. So the number 4 finisher will wrestle the number 1, and you'll cross bracket that way.
That's certainly interesting because I guess they probably liked the 16, not having everybody travel somewhere for a longer tournament or.
Well, funny you should say that, because even though the bracket went from 32 to 16, still a 3-day tournament. Don't ask me how.
Oh, I can tell you how. They consulted with some basketball districts.
Yeah, like 10-2A maybe. Yeah. Yeah. That's the question in the wrestling world right now is, why do we have a 16-man bracket and why are we still spreading it out over 3 days? So that'll be the next.
Is it because
tweak.
of the extra? There's just 2 classes in wrestling. It's just large school, small school, right?
It's large school, small school, and then it's girls, because Division 2 is having its state tournament this coming weekend.
But it's not like basketball where they had to add an extra day because they added a class.
No.
That doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
We know why there's 3 days.
Well,
Money.
and the sad thing is, whatever the explanation is for the 3
It won't be the
days,
truth.
nobody's going to believe it, whether it is or not. I mean, perception is reality, as a former coworker once told me. So I mean, people are going to think it's about the money, whether it is or not. And
Well, because it is. I mean,
I get the skepticism. I don't want to believe that, but it's tough not to.
well, when you're talking about a sport like wrestling that probably doesn't make a whole lot of money for TSSAA as a whole anyway.
But all the money it makes goes to the TSSAA because they aren't out any facility fees.
I mean, I get that.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like, football or basketball probably.
Well, no,
but-
it's not like football or basketball. Nothing's like football or basketball.
Right.
And that's
So you're
not
gonna-
even a comparison you can make, really. But at the same time, it's a pretty full house, or it has been with a 32-man bracket. I'm interested to see what kind of attendance they have. I don't know what the attendance was at Chattanooga last year, but I mean, it's kind of hard to measure anyway, just because it was in the middle of a pandemic. Not that we're not now.
Well, I mean, if you watched the Super Bowl last night, I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist anymore.
Apparently.
Well, I think that's interesting because why would you go from 32 to 16 if it's about the money? So yeah,
I think they wanted everything to be in line because the small school has been a 16-man bracket.
gotcha.
And so rather than increasing that, they decreased the large school.
Gotcha.
Which,
But they still gave them they still allowed them to move on from regionals to
you're right. Mhm.
and that's understandable.
I think
actually
it was.
I don't hate the move. I think it's a great move.
I think that was a nice compromise that you are continuing to advance for out
Sure.
of regionals. You're just not necessarily advancing them to state, but you have an opportunity for all 4 of your region guys to make state.
Sure.
And that will be the case in
some.
some situations.
Yep.
So
And I think that's probably why they got so upset last year, because
it was
we've got 4 guys who are good enough. We ought to get 4 guys ought to get to go.
well, talking to Take Hofer, Columbia Central's 152-pound senior. Last year he placed 3rd. Any other year that would have gotten him to state, except last year.
Yep.
And I'm sure that there are a number of individuals, obviously, who were in that same situation. And so now this kid, by placing 3rd in region, he's going to sectionals. He's got a chance to go to state. So,
and some regions are tougher than others, which
absolutely.
is the point.
That's absolutely the point. Because not all 3rd place finishers are created equally.
That's correct.
So yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad. I'm glad that they have made that decision, and it's at least a good compromise, and well done to the GWSAA for that. I think
Sure.
let's give them credit where credit's due. Absolutely.
We've got a story up on the website regarding Region 7 AA results and Region 6A, where Spring Hill advanced 6 wrestlers to sectionals that will be held Saturday in Eagleville. The sectional for Region 7 AAA and Region 7 AA and Region 8 AA will be held in Collierville. So we won't be there.
Not heading west, young man.
No. So, but we will keep you up to date on who comes out of that and who is headed back to the Ag Expo in Franklin for the state tournament that begins a week from Thursday. It'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Not the Cow Palace.
I think it's only the Cow Palace if you're from Chattanooga, and
Gotcha.
it's a pretty derisive term.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Because it's not. It's a very nice place.
I don't think you could do what you do there anywhere else. So that's just me.
We made it. A whole segment on wrestling.
Hey,
If you want to hear a whole podcast on wrestling, you can tune in every Friday, the first takedown. Might have to just, you know what, JP, just add that into the first takedown podcast this week. It'd be really
it might
good.
be the first takedown podcast this week. Yeah.
Go.
Come back with us. It's time to take a break. Halftime coming up. It is Valentine's Day. We'll find out what's everybody got planned, because clearly Mo and I have something planned, because we have our nice vests on, and we never look like JP looks like that every day. We look like this never. So
Rarely.
we'll find out what's going on. Y'all stick around on Main Street Sports today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Speaking of officials, I told y'all that I had a benches clearing brawl on Saturday, right?
In youth basketball.
14U basketball.
How does that happen?
Well, apparently Franklin and Grassland these two teams have been kind of physical all year long. In the early part,
was this kind of a?
this is the semifinals of the tournament.
Is this kind of a C-State Southwest thing?
Sort of, but let me tell you why. Grassland has like 4 really good soccer players on their team, and so when they play defense like soccer players, and they
slide
body.
tackle.
Well, they body, and in soccer, it's perfectly fine to body somebody up.
In basketball,
you
not so
can't.
much.
I mean,
Called a foul.
I called one kid like 3 times for it. He's like, "What am I doing?" And I'm like, "You can't like be up on him like that." I don't know how to explain.
What
it.
am I doing?
Yeah. So
Like it hadn't been called all year?
I guess, but Grassland, they play like in their own little bubble out there. So I don't know. Anyway, kid from from Franklin grabs a rebound. Grassland kid's arm gets stuck in there, and then he tries to rip it out. Well, when he tries to rip it out, it spins the kid from Franklin around who has it, and his elbows go around. So it looks like he's trying to elbow the kid. Kid from Grassland comes up behind him and like puts his arms around him. Well, obviously he doesn't know what's going on. So another kid from Franklin comes over. Next thing you know, the benches have cleared and we've ejected everybody that was except for who was on the floor.
The feud, huh?
So we have at that point tell both coaches anybody who came off the bench, which is everybody, is disqualified. All right, they're done. Turns out the parents eventually start telling their kids, if they foul you, you just knock them out. So we dipped. Me and the other two officials said
you just
no.
threw up your hand, ball game, and
Yep.
walked out, huh?
Forfeit, both of you. We set the precedent. You fight, even if it's in the tournament, automatic forfeit. So the championship game is being held tonight.
Between who and who?
The other semifinal.
So they only play one semifinal on Saturday?
Yep.
And this one was scheduled for
This one-
tonight?
Yep.
And so now this one is the championship.
There you go. What are you doing tonight for Valentine's Day?
The plan is to go over to Texas Roadhouse over in Murfreesboro.
Oh man, I love Texas Roadhouse. I will be taking.
Rolls with cinnamon butter.
We're doing Mexican and Margs and going to 10 Pin Alley to play video games.
And Margs.
That's right. We're going to play video games at 10 Pin Alley. We'll see who the better basketball shooter is and how many tickets I can win. Maybe I'll win her a stuffed animal.
There you go.
Throw it.
Nothing says love like that.
Like a stuffed animal?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Except a stuffed Jody, which mine will be when we leave Texas
There you go.
Roadhouse.
JP, what are you doing?
We celebrated Valentine's on Saturday.
Oh, what did you do then?
We went to a 4-course dining situation, a very small gathering. It was very nice.
Seems kind of vague.
Well,
4 courses though.
4-course. It was fantastic.
I don't even
What was the dessert portion?
There was homemade ice cream. There were a couple of flavors, and there was chocolate covered homemade vanilla ice cream in a ball with strawberries, and
Oh,
it was very good.
pro tip, if you're out there listening and you haven't gotten anything for Valentine's Day yet and you are freaking out because you're about to go home,
Don't freak out.
here's the thing. Go get some strawberries, pop them in the freezer for like 15 minutes. Turtle ice cream topping, you know, the ones that like freezes when you put it on top of ice cream. Take the strawberries out of the freezer, put that turtle on there, homemade chocolate covered strawberries, and you look like the hero of the day.
You are the hero.
Nailed it. Sarah doesn't like chocolate covered strawberries, so I can't do that for her, but I'm giving you my secret. There you go. All right. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Come back after this 30-second break.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
It is the second half on Reaction Monday, Main Street Sports. Today, coming up, our reaction to Super Bowl 56, the Rams with the win. Halftime show, what we ate, all of that coming up. Back to the Lee Company studio with Times Person of the Year 2006, Chris Yao, the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. He's just looking for some sort of accolade,
It's
Mo,
so funny.
just to try to compete.
Yep.
Just to compete.
Hey.
I like Sundrop
Man of the
Kid, to be honest with you.
Person of the Year.
Yeah, Person of the Year. It was so funny.
You're going to have to explain that.
Yes. This does require some
In
explanation.
2000,
Not that I doubt it.
in 2006,
We'll take your word.
in 2006, Time Magazine's Person of the Year. The cover of the magazine was like looked kind of like a computer screen, and it just said "you," period.
So did you change the U to Yao?
No, it's you. So you too are Time Magazine's Person of the Year for 2006, as is JP and anyone else listening.
The Oprah effect. Your time man of the year. Your
Exactly.
time
That's
person of the
exactly
year.
what it was.
Everybody. Yep.
So anyway, 2006 Person of the Year.
I still think you should Photoshop it to Yao. Period.
That too.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a good vintage for you, huh?
2006 was a good
2006.
year,
I couldn't even drink that year. I didn't turn 21 till 07.
What were you at Jackson State?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville State?
Jackson, no,
You weren't
me
at
and
Jackson
Coach
State
Prime.
either. Yeah.
Me and
What
Coach Prime.
happens?
Were you at JSU then?
I was at JSU.
Okay.
Yeah, my 21st birthday was fun. I did not go to Texas Roadhouse though. I kind of wish I would have. Would have been easier.
Speaking of Texas Roadhouse, you were telling me off air.
Yeah.
that
So apparently, if you got no plans tonight and you're looking for something exciting to do, the Spring Hill Planning Commission meeting will be taking place. Spring Hill -TN, or I'm sorry, no, SpringHillTN.org, no dash. SpringHillTN.org. You can watch it wherever you want to. Put it on the big screen. Have some leftover game day apps, whatever. Or maybe
it's a great follow up to the Super Bowl.
Or maybe some homemade chocolate strawberries. If that's what you're into, you can watch the Planning Commission, and they will be voting for the final approval for Texas Roadhouse to be built in the crossings at Spring Hill. So,
is there any chance it gets voted down?
No. Longhorn, Logan's, and Texas Roadhouse all in the same shopping center. So if you want a steak,
Longhorn is there or is coming?
it's already there,
For some reason, I just never think about Longhorn.
right?
I'm a Logan's guy.
Same.
Yeah.
Except the last time I was at Logan's over on Music Valley Drive, and Sarah found a whole fingernail in her salad.
Oh,
yeah. Don't get the salad at Logan's on Music Valley Drive. It was a press on, and it had just fallen off in the salad. We got our meal for free. It was a good day.
her meal?
Our meal.
Oh, okay.
We got our meals for free.
Okay.
Anyway,
Handmade salads, huh?
they make them by hand there. Sometimes they make them with hands. Oh, last night, man, Tyler kind of alluded. It was kind of a ho-hum start to the game, I thought, but it was kind of hard for the game to live up to the pregame, to be honest with you. And we'll talk about that in the next segment. But am I the only one who remembers when we all talk trash about the XFL for letting Vince McMahon come out and say, "This is the XFL"? And now we've got The Rock out here doing this crap.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I think the NFL is doing whatever they can to create some positive vibes amongst a demographic that isn't always positive about the NFL.
I mean, this is The Rock thing was dumb. Period.
It was.
It would have been okay if it were 20 seconds, but he was out there for like
3
a minute.
minutes.
It was off brand.
It was off brand.
It
for
was
the
off
NFL,
brand.
And it seemed contrived.
Yeah. I mean,
Mostly because it was.
I think if you
Coming
just-
from the owner of the XFL, by the way. The Rock owns the XFL.
maybe that was a point of.
Is there going to be some kind of collaboration
yeah.
between the NFL and the XFL?
I think so.
I mean, that's the only way it makes sense.
I think that's what's going to end up happening. I don't know that, but yes, eventually. But it was contrived.
Well, I mean, everything there is is put on for a particular reason.
I mean, is it because it's LA? Kind
I
of like the
think
the
that has
Clash
a
of the
lot to do with
Coliseum.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
it was a show, right? It was
Yeah. It's Hollywood.
it was Hollywood.
Yeah, this was a big quote production, and they wanted to make that perception be known.
I think that's okay if
know?
if you'll just acknowledge that, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was just weird to me. I didn't like it.
Well, I think JP kind of hit it. It was off brand. It was different from what you expect out of the NFL.
I think alone it was for me it was fine.
I didn't have an issue with
I
it.
didn't
It was
either.
just
It was just all brand.
yeah,
It was like,
Yeah,
well,
that's- and
that's
that's-
odd.
yeah.
That's
and
odd.
that's a great
Why
description.
are we
I
doing
mean,
this?
I thought he did a great job.
Sure.
And if I were one of the players, I mean, I would have gotten goosebumps and gotten, that was, but what the Rams do, what they've done all season, at least what I've seen, is Michael Buffer.
Let's get ready to
Let's
rumble.
get ready to rumble.
Well, if you remember, I think they kicked off during it.
Yeah, the Titans
during
did.
the Titans game. Yeah.
Well,
Screw this.
it wasn't a home
Let's
game, though,
play.
so
Yeah, so I guess it was just a way to kind of extend that, but it was Hollywood and The
Yeah.
Rock and
Well, I mean, the Super Bowl has gone past being a ball game. It's
Oh.
an event.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that was just one of the accoutrements
Mm-hmm.
of said event, basically. But it was, particularly off brand for the NFL. I didn't have an issue with it.
No,
I
it was
don't have
just
an issue
weird.
with The Rock. He's cool.
I like The Rock.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, he did a great job.
Yeah.
He is one of the.
I was just kind of waiting for him to break out in and if you can smell.
That's
I
what I
can't-
was. I
yeah.
never could. That's what I was waiting for, and it never happened.
Yeah, which was a little deflating that
it was.
it didn't. Yeah, I was waiting on
And
that.
then the kickoff was a touchback, and some of us bet that it wouldn't be, and
so the real truth is out.
it's the whole thing.
Well, we discussed the line was 48.5. We'd have taken the over, or 48. Was it 48?
48 and a half.
Okay. We would have taken the over.
Yeah.
Not would have.
Oh.
Some of us did. Some of us took the Rams -4 and the over and a parlay.
and missed on both then, huh? Yeah.
A whole new definition to reaction Monday.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. That explains so much.
Reeling Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sitting here like screaming at the TV for Joe Burrow to actually get into field goal range. And
Because you wanted overtime.
but can you imagine like if you are what's the running back's name? Perrin or Perrine or
Michael
Perrin?
P. Ryan.
Perrin, whatever.
P-Ryan, there we go.
P. Ryan.
Whatever it is.
From
How
Florida,
do
by
you
the way.
not dive for that ball? How do you just watch it land at your feet 2 feet away? He didn't even try. I mean,
Got to do something. You
try.
I mean, an incomplete pass ends the ball game.
He was
bro.
very
Do something.
confused.
Yeah.
I don't think
you do
he-
realize that was fourth down, right?
I don't think he did. I don't think he did. He was probably wondering why he was in the game. Because one, why is he in the flats? You know they're coming at you. Keep everybody you can in to block. None of it made sense. Anyway, let's actually talk about the game because
We didn't.
there's a lot that happened in this one. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good football game.
It was.
So let's continue reacting to the Super Bowl on the other side of the break. Stick around. Main Street Sports Day returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey, welcome back in. It is Reaction Monday, Main Street Sports Today. Chris Yao Mopat and JP Plant here with you, and still reacting to the Super Bowl and the Rams comeback. I saw an interesting statistic today, or not a statistic, but I guess an accolade. I don't know. Cooper Kupp this year won the Triple Crown.
Mm-hmm.
He won Offensive Player of the Year, and he won
Super Bowl
MVP. The only wide receiver to ever have done that throughout his entire career
was
Jerry Rice. And Cooper did it in 1 year. The same. That is unprecedented. That is impressive. For a wide receiver?
Unprecedented. P-R-E-C-E-D-E-N-T-E.
Did somebody spell unprecedented wrong?
I've just seen unprecedented spelled.
Unprecedented?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Anyway.
That's just, you knew
well,
that.
I mean, it's like we were talking. Jody and I went over to my folks to watch the Super Bowl. My mom, my dad, and my sister were watching the Super Bowl, and my dad and I were talking. I mean, he caught 2 touchdown passes, but he ran that little jet
the 4th and 1
for the 4th down.
Yep.
To keep the drive alive as well. I mean, he showed up all night.
Except for when he was asked to throw the ball. And he overthrew Stafford by about 6 yards.
Yeah. Philly not so special.
Yeah, that was not it.
Yeah.
But,
so we found a chink in dude's armor. We found something he can't do. Can't throw the ball. Okay.
Hey,
don't ask him to.
I was really impressed by his ability to kind of bide his time and Matthew Stafford's ability to almost ignore him at times.
Well, sometimes to their detriment, because once OBJ went out, there for a stretch, they seemed pretty limited offensively. And whoever number 18 is, I can't pronounce his name, but
he was almost useless.
The moment seemed a bit big for him.
Well, I'm not saying that Matthew Stafford was in a Greg Maddux mode, but you've heard Maddux talk about, I threw the guy a curveball there knowing he was going to hit it because in the playoffs he's going to be looking curveball and I'm going to hit him with a fastball or whatever. But it was almost like he was intentionally not looking at Kupp to make sure that they might play off of him in
Just
the
enough.
the late stages.
Well, he's not looking for Kupp. Boom.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. 6 targets on the final drive. And he catches the eventual game winner. Now, that's only because Stafford missed Van Jefferson for what would have been the game winner, who was standing by himself.
Which really would have kept.
Oh, I was begging for it.
Everything for Van. Yeah. So we talked about the local flavor of the Rams last week.
Mm-hmm.
Bryson Hopkins stepped up.
Huge game. The moment was not too big for Bryson Hopkins.
No.
That guy stepped up. A 3rd string tight end comes in and plays that well. Well done, sir.
Yeah. And, man, rough night for Jalen Ramsey, though. Maybe not all of his own doing.
Well, Two of them. Matter of fact, I don't know if you saw the all 22 camera angle. If Burrow had any time, Ramsey fell down again. Jamar Chase was running to the end zone by himself when Burrow got tackled on 4th down.
I missed that one.
By himself. Ramsey is on the ground at the 25. Man. I don't know.
Now, I mean, he got face masked big time on T. Higgins' touchdown.
That was 100% a face mask.
But the first Jamar Chase big play, did he score?
No. And they called him down by contact because Ramsey contacted him. Then he made the catch and fell down. And I was very confused. I was like, wouldn't that be pass interference? I thought it was pass interference, but it wasn't. But again, he fell down. He fell down twice.
Mm-hmm. Well, he gave up the 46-yarder to Chase early, and then he gave up the touchdown to Higgins. Those are the 2 longest completions he's given up in his career.
And that's what you get when you get the Bengals, though.
And who was it that said that one group of receivers was more consistent and the other group was more explosive?
Exactly. I mean, that's 100% what they are.
Yeah.
That's who they are. They're going to hit the big plays, and that's what you're going to get from them. And Ramsey, I thought, played a great game. I mean, most of the game. He got burnt 2 or 3 times. When he kept his feet, yeah. And again, field turf. The turf monster gets OBJ. It's just, it's almost like, guys, we got to stop. We got to stop with field turf.
Thing is, that's their home turf.
Yeah.
So they should kind of know about what they should or shouldn't be wearing on it.
What impressed me the most by the Rams was the ability of A'Shaun Robinson to disrupt the run game so much that Aaron Donald was he was able to pin his ears back and go get the quarterback.
And I'm sure you heard Al Michaels. It's like, just tell me when 94 is in the game because we're not going to try to run when he is.
Yeah, and then he said, now here, now's a chance to take a shot at running it because he had come out, and then on 2nd down they go from shotgun and throw a screen pass away from Donald. Mm-hmm. But it's just, we knew coming into this game that they were going to struggle to block the Rams. Now in the first half, I thought the Bengals offensive line held up pretty well
in the run game.
Well, even in the pass game, the second half is when they gave up the 7 sacks. I think they gave up 6 of their 7 in the second half. And most of that was in the last quarter and a half. Even for the first 12 seconds, they scored a touchdown. Then they get the pick, which also wasn't Stafford's fault, but whatever.
No, it was off of
18's hands.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like he tipped it up to him. Here.
Made it a little easier.
Yeah.
But it was a really good football game. I thought, I thought everybody that was supposed to make a play made a play.
I was really happy for Stafford. I am really happy for Stafford. I mean, again, when you play as long as he did for Detroit.
How about Detroit coming up big in the Super Bowl? Matthew Stafford, Eminem. It's the closest that city's getting to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. But I mean,
seriously,
his first opportunity to play with a good team, and he wins a Super Bowl.
Rexroad, friend of the show, Joe Rexroad, was in a conversation about whether or not Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer, and I think that's a great conversation to have, and we may have it later this week, and we may have Joe on to talk about it.
I think that would be good
because I think it's a great debate. I think this makes him. I think this puts him.
I think this puts him in the conversation.
But the argument was, well, this team was ready-made to win a Super Bowl. Okay. So
then why didn't they?
It's still. It's still 22 players have to be. You have to have all 22 players. You can't just
and as ready-made as they were to win a Super Bowl, they weren't going to win one with Jared Goff.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And you can't.
And when you look at some of the other guys who have won Super Bowls, one coaching in Nashville.
Yes, there are Brad Johnsons, there are Trent Dilfers out there. There are Joe Flacco's out there. This is not one of those situations.
No, this is a quarterback who actually went out and played a major role. He wasn't a game manager.
Right. At any point during the season.
No.
And never has been. This is a guy who his entire ankle got rolled up and he limped off the field and he came back and still took care of business. Now,
I mean, I don't think if the question is Matthew Stafford a Hall of Famer? I don't think it's just a flat no.
Right.
I think there's a conversation. I think there are some nuances to it, that kind of thing. Now, again, if he was to retire this week, I think it's a question as to whether or not he is. I think it's about what he does from here.
You know,
but he's certainly in a better position than he was.
I didn't realize he's only played 13 years.
Feels like longer.
It feels like he's been playing since Big Ben.
It's because he's been in Detroit.
I guess. But I didn't realize that he's only been in the league for 13 years. I mean, he's still got 4 or 5 in him. And with this team,
more than that if he decides to be Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, if this is a guy who could potentially go out and win
with a healthy OBJ for a full year, with a Van Jefferson with another
Cooper
year
Kupp?
under him, with Cooper Kupp, yeah,
Now, defensively, they may be struggling if Aaron Donald decides to retire.
which he is talking about.
But my point to that is we have gotten so enamored with the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning debate that we think that quarterbacks win Super Bowls, and that's not always the case. You have to have you have to have weapons. You have to have people around you.
Right.
But even as good as those Cooper Kupp on the Ravens or
The Browns.
the Browns is not Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams.
Right.
He's just not. I'm sorry. So Matthew Stafford is just as responsible for what Cooper Kupp accomplished this year than Cooper Kupp is. He's just as responsible. And to me, I feel like Matthew Stafford put himself into a good place to be in a conversation for the Hall of Fame. Again, I do think he needs at least 3 more years in the league and would probably need to win a couple more a couple more
championships.
Well, I think he needs to win at least a couple of more playoff games. He had never won one before this year. You know, get to the
his fault.
Get to the conference championship game, maybe win one more, perhaps win another Super. If he gets a second Super Bowl, he's in.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So he can play his way in. That's not everybody can say that
Sure.
after 13 years. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's phenomenal. I think the Rams did a great job last night, and I'm happy for Matt Stafford more than I am almost anybody, but also just as much for those Middle Tennessee guys.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on the other side of the field, if Cincinnati, and I said it 2 or 3 weeks ago, they may not need to draft anything but offensive linemen, but if they get that offensive line right in front of Burrow, with the explosiveness they've got at receiver, it's scary. Here's a question. And I've probably missed something somewhere because as much as I reference Twitter, I'm not always on it. I mean, I'm looking at it at this moment. But why the hate for Eli Apple and Quentin Spain?
Well, Eli Apple brought it on himself.
Okay.
He pulled one of those
Logan Ryan?
Yeah, he pulled a Logan Ryan on the Saints.
New Orleans? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
And apparently it's not the fans that are necessarily just why NFL wide receivers hate this guy. So I'm sure he talks enough trash during the
on
game.
The field.
It's like, buddy, you're not good enough to talk that much trash.
All right. And what about Spain?
Now, Spain, I don't know. I've never. Your guess is as good as
Is
mine.
that a Titans related thing? I mean, did he talk trash about the Titans or something? Or because Jeff Simmons went after him. Hashtag on here.
Mr. Undrafted looked very undrafted tonight. W by the 32 teams that passed on him. He got whooped so bad. There's a reason he was undrafted. I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah, it must be a Titans thing because I have zero idea. Anyway.
And that was just a portion of it.
Yeah. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, man. Let's talk about the things that happened off the field, outside the lines of the Super Bowl, the rest of the production, if you will. Obviously, the halftime show, the national anthem, NBC screw up. We'll talk about it all on the other side of Main Street Sports today. Y'all stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Feel like when Hollywood Hulk Hogan used to walk in to what's his name? The guitar player. What's his name? The 50s black guy, great guitar player.
Chuck Berry?
Nope.
No. 50s black guy.
Jimi
Hendrix?
Jimi Hendrix. That's it.
That's not the 50s,
dude. Whatever. I'm just throwing
Anyway.
That's what Hogan used to do. He used to play it on the.
I never watched.
He used to pretend to play the air guitar on his heavyweight championship belt when he'd walk in.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
60s, not 50s.
Yes.
I was just trying to think of it so fast and it made me so angry. I was like, why could I not think of this guy's name? Off the field last night in the Super Bowl. I don't think look, nothing better happened off the field than Van Jefferson's wife leaving the game, having their kid at 9:17 p.m. So Jefferson wins the Super Bowl at 7. Gets to the hospital in time to see his daughter born.
Oh, so he made it.
He made it.
Oh, wow. Because I thought it was, I guess it was just reported that she had left the
Had left.
stadium.
On a stretcher. They had her on a stretcher leaving the stadium.
Knowing Van's mom, then that means she probably left too.
Probably. So I thought that was pretty neat. Congratulations to Van Jefferson for both Jim Davis. Hendrix 50s helped the man. Sorry, Jim. I was just trying to get it out. I couldn't remember his darn name. And anyway, and I may have been thinking Chuck Berry, but I knew it wasn't Chuck Berry. Anyway,
Talk it.
Speaking of music from the 50s, thank God we didn't have to deal with it, because last night the halftime show,
depends on who you ask, because there's a faction out there that would have been just fine with music from the 50s, apparently, or from any other era or any other genre.
Not any other genre. I mean, there were some who were very upset about blank crap.
Yeah.
And anyway, second best halftime show I've ever seen. Period. Second best Super Bowl halftime show that I've ever seen.
Behind
Prince in the rain.
In the rain. In the rain.
I mean,
didn't care.
Dude put on, nobody will ever top that for me. I mean, it's going to be very hard for somebody to top that. But I'm sitting there watching Snoop and Dre, and what Mary J. Blige did was just insane. You know, $1.50.
Be nice.
Inflation, man. Inflation.
Be nice.
The currency, not the only thing inflating for 50 is all I'm saying.
Man.
Hey, none of us are as young as we used to be.
Right?
Hey, I don't think I could have hung upside down.
I was going to say, you still did that. Yeah.
I don't think I could have done that.
Give
but
that man,
he's also 46 years old. I didn't realize 50 was 46. I knew that like Snoop was 50 and Dre's 56 or something like that, or 54. But I didn't realize that 50 was that old. And Mary J at 50 doing what she did. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I don't know why she had a heart attack at the end, but just fell down. And here's the thing. A lot of folks very concerned about why was Kendrick Lamar even involved in this? One, Kendrick Lamar, the best lyricist of the entire group, including Eminem, and that's blasphemy for a lot of folks. But I think he was there for, folks who maybe the generation after me.
Here's a prime example of why Kendrick Lamar was there. My niece, who is a sophomore in high school.
Who is a sophomore in high school?
Is a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
Asked her mother, my sister, who are all these people with Kendrick Lamar performing at the Super Bowl?
Right.
There you go.
That was the only reason that I could think of was that Kendrick was going to appeal to a little bit
somebody. Yeah.
And I'm aware of Kendrick Lamar. I don't listen to his music. I haven't. I couldn't. If I heard it, I wouldn't know it. But I knew who he was at least. But the rest it was a generational thing. But yeah, that's the only reason they.
And a friend of mine posted something on Facebook earlier today. If I can find it, I don't know that I can find it quickly enough for it to matter. But he said, I'm 61. This wasn't for me. But what has been for me at the Super Bowl? Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, the Blues Brothers with James Brown and ZZ Top, Stevie Wonder, Phil Collins, Aerosmith, U2, Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones, Prince, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, and the Who. Into my 60s, there won't be many of my people anymore. Many of them can't get on the stage anymore. It's going to be younger acts, not much younger last night, but younger than me, and they will be much younger than me from here on. So knock it off with your worst halftime show ever crap.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not. This one was for us, JP. I mean, the people who had 6-disc CD changers in their trunk.
Yep.
That's who this was for.
Check.
And they freaking nailed
Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Yep.
Everything about it was incredible to me. I mean, I wish that they all could have had 3 songs each.
Yeah, that's the only. I don't know if it's a gripe, but there were too many of them. There were just too many to try to fit all of that
one halftime
into 14 minutes.
Yeah,
There was just too much.
But Eminem nailed it.
Mm.
Dre nailed it. I mean, the only thing that could have been better is if Tupac hologram would have shown up.
and a lot of people were shocked that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
I mean, if there had been a Tupac hologram, it just would have been over. I would have been here.
And
End it
throwing a Biggie Smalls hologram with them for the cohesiveness,
End
the
it
two
all.
coast, right?
But yeah, it was phenomenal, and that was again second best halftime performance that I'd ever seen, including when I was 14 years old and watched Justin Timberlake do what he did. And I'm just saying, at 14, that was a pretty big moment for me. So, anyway, also the second best Star Spangled Banner I've ever heard. If Mickey Guyton didn't blow everybody else out of the water outside of Whitney, and she's close.
If you didn't know who she was before last night, you certainly should now.
I mean,
and she hit the over.
She did hit the over,
Yep.
minute 47. I was so impressed. She had zero nervousness. She nailed the national anthem, one of the hardest songs in the world to sing. Nailed it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she was misidentified before God Bless America when they put the girl singing God Bless America's name over her picture. She's standing on the podium and they say, give it up for Janiyah Keough,
Jancy,
whatever.
Whoever, yeah. Uh-huh.
And she and Mickey gives her a clap, and then I guess that's when they realized that wasn't her.
That's not her. Oh, that's not her.
Like that's whoa. So they finally get their
time out. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the music from last night was across the board the best Super Bowl ever. Because I mean, obviously you've got one thing or another, but last night's Super Bowl music wise, best ever.
Who was the halftime the year Whitney Houston sang?
Lord, who knows?
It was 93, wasn't it? 92.
They
It was
run together after a while.
it was in Tampa.
Oh man,
That Michael
that was
Jackson.
MJ.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
yeah.
I was wrong.
Whitney anthem and Michael Jackson for
Oh, maybe
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't
wrong.
know if you could top that one.
Ooh,
Still,
that's pretty strong.
I mean, it's to me, it's 1 and 2 either way.
Okay, so who did the anthem for Prince's halftime?
I don't. It's not touching either one of those. 2007, Super Bowl national anthem.
Yep. Yeah, it was 07.
Billy Joel. I mean, he's probably good, but it probably wasn't as good as that. So, yeah.
Did Santana play the anthem one year?
Santana did play the
so,
anthem
yeah.
one year. Let's see here. These. Oh, they have. I just want the list. I don't want to see the actual. Anyway, it was a good one. It was great. Everything about the Super Bowl last night was phenomenal. The game was good. The anthem was good. The halftime show
And
was
we've
good.
had
The
a nice
commercials
run.
were good.
We've had a nice run of good Super Bowls,
Yeah.
just games as opposed to, we were in a run of blowouts there one way or the other for a pretty good while. So it's nice to get a good game.
Yep. All right. Come back tomorrow. We've got plenty more to talk about. Hopefully we can get Rec Shirt on later this week, if not tomorrow. Maybe we can get Teresa Walker on later at some point too, because she'll be making her way back from Los Angeles. College hoops. We have a lot more to react to, but we just didn't have time today. So Reaction Tuesday, Top 5 Tuesday, coming at you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. For Mo and JP, I'm Chris Yao saying have a great day. See you then.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
That's right.
Yes.